Before we begin the main event, I'm here to introduce our Brave New Words writer, Thomas Welsh. For those of you who don't know what Brave New Words is, it's our spotlight for new and more unusual writers. So Thomas is an award-winning fantasy and short story author from Glasgow. His Metiks Fade trilogy debuted last year with Anna Undreaming, and he's going to be reading you a quick excerpt from that book. So please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much for that. I'm not actually going to read you an excerpt. I'm going to tell you a bit about the book. I'm not great at reading, so instead I'll hopefully tantalise you and tell you a bit about the story. So, as we were hearing there, the Metiks Fade trilogy is the series that I wrote. The first book, Anna Undreaming, came out last year, and the second book, Anna and the Moonlight Road, comes out in winter, December, hopefully this year. I wouldn't say that my life's changed since my first book came out, but I do remember the first person who recognised me. So I was in my work canteen, I was going down to get a coffee, and wee Mary came up to me, and she said, "Oh, I saw you on telly last night." And I says, "Oh, that's great." She says, and I went away and I ordered your book straight away. I says, "Oh, it's only just out, that's great. Where did you order it from?" And she says, "I just went into my local Wetherspoons and ordered it," which is weird because I didn't even know that they did books. So I'm on an amazing panel today, just opening it, I'm not on it. And I'm really excited for it, 3 fantastic authors. And the theme of the panel is people who perhaps don't quite fit into society. And for the main character in my book, Anna, she certainly doesn't fit into the society that she finds herself in. At the start of Anna Undreaming, Anna's just graduated, she's completed her thesis, and she's studied Camus, a philosopher that both she and I share a kind of obsession with. I'll mangle his quote, but Anna really likes this quote, that the most serious question of philosophy is whether or not you should commit suicide, whether you should kill yourself. And this sounds really grim, but in fact Camus' philosophy is full of hope, and it's full of kind of finding the reason to live, finding that reason for yourself. Maybe the reason that Anna connects with this so much is because she's lost her husband, and at the start of the book we find Anna with a suicide letter that she's not brave enough to open. It still remains in the envelope. So she can't open the envelope and look at it. I was inspired to write Anna Undreaming by my incredibly more talented friends than myself. I always felt a bit odd one out. A lot of my friends are amazing artists and musicians, programmers, people that do creative things, and I can't even draw. But the one thing that I could always do is tell a pretty good story. So I decided to write a story about artists who could paint, dance, sew or sing new realities, and that's what I tell the story of in Metiks Fade. Over the course of 350,000 words, I never once used the word magic. That might seem like a pointlessly arbitrary restriction to put in myself, and it was really stupid. But it did help me understand how to write about that magic system, and it helped me with the book. So I think all of you here appreciate the power of fantasy stories and the ability to escape into magical worlds. Maybe when you're photocopying, when you're cleaning the spam filter in your email, when your friends start showing you slides from their skiing holiday. You might find, if you're like me, your imagination takes you to the trench on the Death Star, you're flying an X-Wing, or you're sitting in the Prancing Pony, you're listening to Rangers tell stories over a pint of ale or mead or something like that. One of the amazing things about writing a fantasy story like Anna Undreaming is that some of those fantasy locations I can escape to can be places like the Midnight Man's endless purple desert, or Mr. Osmond's nightclub on the moon. I saw wee Mary a couple of days ago, and I was walking past, and she says, "I would rather be walking along that midnight road that you wrote about than sitting here cleaning the coffee filter in this machine." And that's when I realised that some of these worlds that I'd created, people were escaping to them too. And I think that's a really magical thing that fantasy and that stories can do for us all. So in these worlds that I've created, I'll be there, and I hope to see you all there soon as well. I'll be signing some copies of my book. I'm really excited for the panel. Did anyone here remember when I said Anna and the Moonlight Road is coming out? Did anyone remember? December. Who said December? You can have a copy in the book. Thank you very much. I'll give you this one. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.